Hey guys, it's Jenny Silver, and today I have a California EDD unemployment update for you on some of the major issues and questions that you guys are seeing and having with your unemployment claims this week. September 6th marked the end date for the federal provisions for unemployment, including PEUC, PUA, the $300 boost, and the MEUC boost. Claim week ending September 4th was the last payable week to collect these programs. For those of you that have not yet collected a payment on claim week ending September 4th, yes, you are able to still certify for that week and collect benefits for that week for claim week ending September 4th. After that, PEUC, PUA, $300 boost, and the MEUC boost are no longer payable for weeks after September 4th. For many of you who were collecting UI or PEUC, now that PEUC has come to an end, many of you who qualify to collect Fed Ed benefits will next be migrated over to the one remaining week of Fed Ed. The last payable week for Fed Ed benefits is claim week ending September 11th. That means that for those of you who do qualify to collect that one remaining week of Fed Ed benefits, the EDD will next take some time to migrate you over and apply the extension to your claim. Many claimants have begun to receive notices either in their UI online inbox, in the mail, or via text message, letting them know that they have been awarded a Fed Ed extension, while many others are still awaiting their extension. If you have not yet received this message, please know that the EDD will most likely take up to 2 weeks to migrate claimants over to the Fed Ed extension. Unfortunately, the EDD did not update their award letter for the Fed Ed extension. If you receive this message from the California EDD stating that you qualify to receive an up to 20-week extension, please know that unfortunately this program ends after September 11th. Now, many are wondering if you will be able to collect that one remaining week of Fed Ed extension if the EDD has not yet awarded it to your claim. The answer here is yes. The EDD will take some additional time in order to apply this extension to all claimants. They are moving a massive number of claimants over to this program for just that one remaining week, so expect up to 2 weeks for them to issue you that notice stating that you have been awarded a Fed Ed extension, and then after that point in time, you should then be able to certify for that one remaining week of Fed Ed benefits. Next, let's talk about DNCP. Many of you are asking me about Deferred New Claim Program. What DNCP refers to is for those claimants who had reached the end of 1 year's worth of benefits on UI or PEUC or Fed Ed, and they previously applied for a brand new claim and were awarded a new claim. They may have been kept on a PEUC extension instead of collecting under that new claim. For those individuals, their new claim was deferred and set aside for them to collect later. This is due to the new claim's award amount being significantly less than the prior claim. In that case, a claimant would have received this notification letter in UI Online. Their new claim would have been set aside and put on hold, and they would have continued collecting PEUC extension. Now that the PEUC extension has come to an end, the EDD next will automatically apply that new claim that the claimant had already filed for, been approved for, to their account. Now that PEUC has come to a close, for those claimants that were previously awarded a brand new claim and had it set aside, the EDD will now automatically apply that deferred claim to their account. This will be a traditional unemployment claim based on their prior wages the year before, and it will be a duration of up to 26 weeks of benefits. I want to clarify some things for you guys about this. This is not a new program that you can apply for. This is simply for claimants who did apply previously at the end of their benefit year for a brand new regular claim and had that claim set aside. The EDD should automatically apply your deferred claim to your account, and I would anticipate it to take up to 2 weeks after you have finished collecting whatever extension you were on last. Those of you who have worked within the last 18 months and had enough wages in order to qualify for a brand new regular unemployment claim, you may apply for a new unemployment claim once you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date, and you had enough wages in order to qualify. Use the EDD's online calculator to see if you may qualify for a new claim. Now, many of you are asking me, if you reach a $0 balance but you are within your benefit year, are you able to file a new claim? The answer here is unfortunately no. You must wait until the end of your benefit year before you can file a new regular unemployment claim. For those of you who were collecting PUA, many of you are asking me if you can file a new claim. PUA has ended, and regardless of claim balance, you are not able to file a new claim or collect further PUA benefits. However, if you happened to have enough employee wages within the last 18 months and do qualify for a new regular state unemployment claim, then you would be able to file a new claim that way. Unfortunately, this won't apply to most claimants who were collecting PUA, since PUA is primarily established for those with self-employment income. In order to establish a new regular claim, you would need to have employee wages. Those of you who are on a regular UI claim who are before the 16-week mark and you want to go back to school or training, I recommend that you look into a California training extension. The EDD will continue paying out additional benefits on a training extension if you apply before week 16 and get your training program approved by the EDD. Next, let's talk about those of you who still are seeing pending certifications. If you're still stuck in pending, the EDD is required, according to the Class Action Settlement Agreement, to pay out your pending certifications using what's known as conditional payments. A conditional payment can be applied to your pending certification if your claim has collected one or more successful unemployment payouts previously and you have been pending for over 2 weeks. For those that qualify for conditional payments, this means that the EDD will pay your certification and then later down the line will collect whatever information they need in order to get you out of pending. This usually is a phone interview or some sort of documentation that the EDD needs to collect from you. Please make sure that if you receive a conditional payment that you are still on the lookout to conduct your phone interview or provide whatever documentation is needed. While many have seen these conditional payments start to be applied to their claim, some are still waiting completely with all of their certifications pending, while others are seeing some paid but not others. This is because the EDD has up until September 30th, according to the Class Action Settlement Agreement, to pay out these conditional payments. If you do not want to wait until September 30th, then I recommend calling your assembly member in order to try to get things expedited. Next, let's talk about a change to the EDD's UI Online dashboard. Recently, the EDD added a feature to UI Online dashboards called the Claim Status Tracker. The Claim Status Tracker shows an overview of what is going on with your claim. This area provides more detailed information than the EDD has previously provided about your claim. For those of you that are required to conduct a phone interview, submit some sort of verification, or have a stop payment alert on your claim leading to pending payments, this area will provide a little bit more detail about what could be going on. While it's a good step to have additional information available to the claimants, unfortunately, this has been riddled with glitches. The Claim Status Tracker has been showing incorrect claim types and incorrect messages and actions for claimants across the board. I reached out to my contact at the EDD regarding this issue. They were not able to provide me any sort of information, but they did forward the issue over to the proper department. This seems to be a technical or programming glitch in their system in implementing this new feature. Unless you are having a problem certifying or other issues with your claim, I would expect this to correct itself and not cause any additional problems with your claim. Next, let's talk about backdating. Now that we have reached the end of the federal provisions for unemployment, many of you are trying to backdate your claims. Backdating means that you change a claim's effective start date to reflect when you actually were unemployed, if your claim's current start date is incorrect. Now I have a full backdating guide available in the video description with all of the information surrounding what date you could potentially backdate to, why it might be rejected, and other information. I have several questions regarding backdating that I am currently trying to get the EDD to provide me with more information on. Unfortunately, the EDD does not seem to be able to provide me with clear answers to many of the questions that I have asked about backdating a claim. Currently, brand new PUA claims can be filed and then backdated up until October 6th. It remains unclear from the EDD if they are still permitting backdating of pre-existing claims. However, if you have not yet backdated your claim, I would make sure that you attempt to do so as quickly as possible. Next, let's talk about the MEUC boost. For those of you who are mixed earners classified as regular unemployment who had your self-employment income disregarded in your application, if you earned $5,000 or more in self-employment net income in the year prior to your unemployment claim, then you would have qualified to receive an MEUC boost in the amount of $100 per week. The EDD has established an MEUC dedicated phone line, so if you had any problems receiving your application or submitting your application, make sure that you call into that phone line to get assistance. Many of you have had problems with the EDD rejecting your documentation, although you are submitting a Schedule C. If your Schedule C is being rejected by the EDD, I recommend trying to upload the entire tax return to see if the EDD accepts that. Right now, claimants are continuing to receive those payouts, but unfortunately there is no set deadline when the EDD will complete this process. Next, many of you are asking for an update on my petition that I started several weeks back regarding an extension of California EDD, PEUC, and PUA programs, as well as calling upon Governor Gavin Newsom to address the issue with claimants directly and answer if it was possible to reallocate funds from the American Rescue Plan. At this point in time, the petition has received nearly 23,000 signatures. It has been featured in the LA Times, in Cal Matters, in Yahoo Finance, and many other publications. I reached out to the governor's office in several different ways. The governor's office did reply to me with a generic response letting me know that other benefit programs were available. I then reached out to a producer that I'm in contact with at ABC, and he was able to provide me with a personal email address for a contact over in the governor's office. So I have tried reaching out another way, try to get it acknowledged, and try to get your voices heard. While Petition is not going to extend these programs on its own, it is important that I try to continue to advocate for you guys and get your voices heard, as well as try to get the governor to address this issue, which still has not been mentioned by him. For those of you who are having trouble contacting the EDD, I want to reiterate to you my call tips, which are linked in the video description. If you are unable to get through to the EDD, contacting your assembly members has been extremely helpful for many claimants to get their issues resolved, get their issues expedited, and get pushed from pending to paid. If you're not sure how to contact your assembly member or why you would do so, please see the video description down below for a video explaining the process, as well as a link on how to locate your assembly member. Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful. Please click like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. The end date for PEUC, PUA, the $300 boost, and the MEUC boost for the federal and pandemic, and you smush them together like they're in love, and it's pandemoral. With those reallocated funds from, what's it called? The American Rescue Plan.